Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto market. That includes the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to discuss the continued sell-off across all markets as the trade war continues to escalate. We're talking about a massive Solana token unlock today, biggest we're going to see in a while. We're going to talk about the latest from the meme coin markets. GM. We've had a crazy couple days. Kicks, last time we had you on, we were discussing what could be happening during the tariff announcement. Now that we've seen what's happened, it's great to have you back, and we're going to hear your thoughts throughout the show today. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, man. Happy Friday, everybody out there. Crazy 48 hours. This morning, we had China clap back a little bit, or maybe a lot of bit. We had VIX. The VIX spiked to 40 overnight. So VIX with I think went up 100% over the last 2 days to about 40. That's the volatility index for those that don't know. We also had a jobs report come out today. Stocks. Did we just see what the futures look like? Stocks down.
They look bad, dude.
Another 2.5%. Crypto holding up pretty well. Bitcoin above 8,300. Ethereum hanging out at 1,800. Solana at 116. Thinking about moving some of my cash that I took out of the crypto markets onto Robinhood. Get that ready to deploy.
We still have a little bit more of a sell-off, in my opinion.
Wouldn't hurt the DCA a little bit. Take a nibble here, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea. I think with the VIX this high, it's like one of the highest numbers we've seen since like COVID, which is not unsurprising. But if you bought that COVID dip, you made 100% return in like 6 months.
Yeah. I pulled up the VIX historically. I think in 2008, of course, was like the biggest VIX spike, great financial collapse. 2011, which I think had something to do with like Europe banking crisis, like, Italy, Spain were having a debt crisis. After that, it didn't really spike until COVID. And then this is another spike. But yeah, generally above 40, when the VIX gets that high on a longer time horizon, buying anywhere above that, buying equities anywhere above that has worked out previously. It doesn't mean that there's not more pain ahead, right? Like I think if you bought the COVID VIX at 40, you probably had to stomach maybe another 15% rip down, but still your buy there would have been good. So as Easy said, there could be more pain ahead, but the VIX starting to spike is kind of a signal that, there's some shock, there's some panic out there. So yeah, I think I just want to get some cash on a Robinhood. I have cash in crypto, and be ready for some potential buying opportunities. Like even stuff like I may get laughed off stage for this, but ETH. It's just funny thinking about ETH at 1,800, right? And a lot of people for a large portion of 2024 would have wished they could have gone back in time and bought ETH at 1,800. The interesting thing about ETH too is that it's been bleeding, or started bleeding kind of ahead and more aggressively than other crypto assets, other crypto majors. Everyone knows out there I'm a big MACD guy. And so Ethereum has actually 5 months ago flipped red on the MACD on the monthly. And the last 3 months, it flipped red like 5 months ago and then went green for 3 months. And now it's had 3 months of red. If you look back at the brutal 2022 bear market, right, we had about 6 months of the dark red. And then that was a really good bottom buy. So even things like ETH, where I'm just thinking like on a long-term horizon, like, if ETH is going to be able to remain dominant, is this an attractive price here? Solana's all the way down in the low hundreds. Could there be more pain ahead? The difference with Solana is it's just starting to flip red on the MACD on the monthly. So there could be, it may need a little bit more of a pullback here. Easy had some great price targets, kind of bottom price targets that he posted. I think he said like ETH at like around 1,300 and
14 to 16 on ETH, 69.72 Bitcoin, 80 to 90 Sol. So like we're getting close. Bitcoin's still holding up, like obviously better. So I don't know if we'll get that Bitcoin price. ETH and Sol are much closer. It's about a 20% drop in Sol. It is like a 10K drop in Bitcoin, which is pretty substantial. And then same with ETH is about a, what's that? 180 to 300 point drop. So right around 20% drops across the board. The main thing that I'm still watching here is the S&P, because I still think there's an S&P flush that we're going to get. And we've had some pretty substantial ones, but the main line I'm looking at here is 485 to 490 on the S&P.
It's like another 10%.
Line. Yeah. That white line right here is where we previously had small gap down there as well, which is why I'm like pretty set on it. And that also aligns almost spot on with the 20% retracement we got from Trump's first tariffs when he was in office. We saw the S&P make a similar move. So if we get that 10%, which we're really close now, like if you look at the pre-market, this orange line, we don't have, like, we can look, we're closer to the orange line than we are to the top of the market, which is like, if you look, 15, we have 14% there. It would be another, 5% drop from where we are. So you have 5% here. We're already about 14% of the way through. That's why, to me, I'm like, I think we're closer to a bottom here than anything else. And a lot of people are like, yeah, no shit. Like, we've been selling off pretty substantially. This sell-off that we would get right here, this last 5%, would put us in a range where, like, I want to deploy, like, serious capital at that 495. And I guess you could go a tiny bit lower down to, like, 4. So we're looking between a 5 and 7% drop before I think like, okay, the S&P is done bleeding here.
And what would that make the total drawdown? Because
total drawdown would be 21%.
Okay, yeah, because like during Biden's term, I think we drew down 27% was like the pico down, but it really settled around 25%.
Bless me.
So yeah, I think those ranges would be really nice to take some big stabs at.
But it also kind of like, I think we could get this to line up with kind of what I've been saying is like this May sell-off, which would be like right about here. Like if we get another 7% from here to here, that would be like the prime situation, in my opinion, for where you really should start to deploy capital, in my opinion. Like that's where I'm like, I feel really good about this long-term trade. I think the word recession will be like basically behind us. We've got JP Morgan saying it's basically imminent. They adjusted to 60%. China's retaliation with this trade war was what people said was kind of unexpected. But I was almost like, yeah, this feels like it's kind of expected.
Yeah, I agree with that. So you're thinking probably like another like 45 days.
Yeah, right
that
around.
gets us like middle of May.
Yeah. That's my thought is like,
I like that.
When I look at this, and then we have gaps on the upside. Like we're going to have two massive gaps on a retrace back up from these two huge sell down days, which is where I'm like, yeah, we'll probably end up bouncing there. And that's the thing. Like I even see this comment from Bedini Beats. Didn't realize the S&P was that bad. It's bad, dude. I was playing basketball last night. This one dude's sitting there and he's like, man, the market's fucked. And like, I don't really tell people what I do. Because like you say crypto and they're like, oh, dude, you're fucking crazy, man. Like there's a couple of the guys there that I play with that know, but this one guy was like, man, my brother's all in on Carnival stock. And I was like, interesting. He's like, yeah, he's got like 850 shares of it. He's down 8K today. He's freaking out. And I'm like, oh, Okay. I looked at my because I've gotten really analytical lately where I'm like tracking P&Ls daily right now for the month of April. I've gone like complete system wide. And I was like, okay, I lost 13 grand on the first day of April. And that was just on like meme coins, like just fucking around in the trenches.
Yeah.
So when this guy's like, oh, he's down 8K, he's freaking out. He wants to basically dump his S&P portfolio. I was like, one, what a dumbass buying that much Carnival stock. Two, being down 8K. Okay. I'm like, yeah. I was like, yeah, man, it sucks. And the guy's like, yeah, what do you think happens? I'm like, yeah, I think we keep selling. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, I think the S&P still has some room to go. Tariffs are pretty bad. And the guy's like, what's a tariff? I was like, oh, all right. I was basically like, yeah, I don't know, man. Let's check ball.
I was talking to my my golf buddies yesterday, and like one of them, like, you know, he has a successful business, and he kind of just he puts all of his profits like into the market, right, with his money manager, which means he's like probably in the S&P, right? So like when you're concentrated all in the S&P, like when you take that 5% ding, you know, you're not used to that with like the S&P. It really stings. But what I was talking to him about is like one thing that historically I've been really bad at is like when it gets so bad, when you feel down so bad and you're like, I just need to fucking sell and just like recoup what I get. That's generally when you probably want to buy. You know what I mean? Like when you start being like, oh, I just need to get out, that means you've gotten wrecked so bad and your emotions are so negative. But that's in actuality when you actually probably want to take cash and gobble up stuff.
Yeah, and that's why like I'm looking at it, dude. If I'm buying stuff, like we could go full boomer here, but like Tesla looks very interesting to me.
Yeah.
That's one that's like sold off and is actually holding pretty well. I didn't even realize. So by the way, I've had these Tesla. If you want to put my screen back on, I've had these Tesla lines drawn for truthfully no idea how long.
Could be years, decades.
Like we've had this massive triangle, and I had this green line drawn, and it's basically like we bounced off of this downtrend or this uptrend line almost perfectly. Which I'm like, oh shit! All right, I guess I'm onto something with all these fucking lines.
Nick should retire with lines this good. He should just get out of the game.
Like I just had a giant wedge that we traded inside of perfectly, and then we did break the high, ran all the way to 486. So I should have longed this shit, and then we just bounced perfectly off the lows. And the futures market on this pre-market is still trading within range. So I'm like, we're in this like rhombus right here that I would be like, yeah, this is probably a good buy zone. Like, that's where I'm like, yeah, Tesla's probably a decent buy here. When you have the S&P down so much, the bigger thing that I look at here, I drew this sell-off on the DXY, the dollar. And it basically is playing out exactly as I thought. I drew this back in February and was like, okay, we're going to reject off this uptrend. We tested it perfectly and then just dumped like I thought we would. You could say I have Bitcoin going to 690.
I love it.
If the dollar does dip sub 100, which I think it could because of this trade war, this number probably needs to be adjusted. Let's put this to like, you know, we'll be a little more conservative.
I like that number. That's good.
Yeah, we'll go to 420. But that's kind of where my brain is right now. I'm looking at that. Nvidia is interesting here purely because like this is sold off pretty substantially, but we're just filling gaps on this chart. So like we still have one down here, 60. If we can get sub $70 Nvidia, there's a very high chance that I buy the ever living shit out of it. Just because it's like, yeah, you have to worry about like Chinese tech stocks, some of this other stuff, but like we have a pretty big gap down here. If you can fill in that box, that range, you get a nice head and shoulder pattern that's finally done. And I think we just end up retesting. So it's like, yeah, you have shoulder, head. This is going to be the other shoulder. Give us an area like right around here. At any point, and realistically, this probably ends up being a little bit closer to here, which would once again line up with May, June entry. So like a lot of my stuff that I'm looking at is like May, like end of May, mid Q2, start of the summer session. Liquidity will be lower. I think the trade war will be done through the summer session, and Q3 and 4 probably look pretty good.
Yeah, I think Nvidia dumping off pretty hard because their chips come from Taiwan, which Trump slapped the 32% tariff on. Tesla does a lot of manufacturing in the U.S. Also, 40% of the country hates them now. So, you know, it's kind of a, you know, tit for tat there.
But I look at that. I look at Apple is another interesting one just because it's a lot of imports. So it's basically like if you can find some stuff that is interesting. This one's kind of a wild card.
What's this?
Jamia, do you know what this is, Kicks?
No, tell me.
So it's an African company
Okay.
that is largely controlled by China's supply chain,
Well, Africa is controlled by China, so I'm not surprised.
more or less. But if you want to bet on emerging markets, this would be my bet probably, is Jamia.
And what do they do?
So it's like the Amazon of Africa.
Oh,
So they have like a ton of stuff. They control the biggest infrastructure and the majority of infrastructure, shipping lines, everything else in Africa is handled by them. You can see they gigasent during COVID, like absolute parabolic run here, all the way up to $70. I have to do a little bit more looking into them because obviously I haven't seen this chart in a while and it's down to like $2. But yeah, I'm interested to see stuff like that. Like if I'm looking at emerging markets, it's mostly like brick stuff that I'm interested. So like if you can look at like South American companies, if you can look at stuff in Africa, if you can look at that stuff, it's very interesting. We're done when Easy is doing TA. My friend, I've been doing TA longer than you've been alive. Like,
shit.
we pulled up that Tesla chart, and these lines have been on this goddamn chart literally back in 22. So like, come on now. Come on.
Come on now,
And
Willis.
we're shilling African equities. So I don't own any of that stuff. My like largest holding is in this shit. A Global X super dividend ETF. This is my largest holding, and it's been down fucking only. All right. So it just gives me a dividend, and that's it. I'm like total boomer on this bullshit. But yeah, I don't know. I look at stuff like this. ETH is actually having an okay-ish bounce off the payroll data right now. If you really want to look at it. Okay, it's bounced, but you want it to get over this little line here, over 1800 in my opinion.
Yeah.
Sol still everything's rejecting off this moving average. Bitcoin's holding up the best, and that's good. My major concern is this pre-market open that we're about to get in 7 minutes because that should theoretically nuke the market.
I'm kind of excited for it. Titcoin 30 is looking really good.
I do want to talk about Titcoin. I do want to talk about some other things. We had a very dense informationally like a little session there. So I was pretty excited about that. I need more advice from Easy. I'm going to be pulling up Blockbet. Partners for today's show, you can sign up at bodoggos.com/Blockbet. New link for you, make it easier for you to get in there. I need some advice here, Easy, because I want to bet the Final Four.
Florida Duke moneyline parlay.
Florida Duke moneyline parlay. So we're going to go minus 160 and minus 278 on a moneyline parlay.
Yeah. What are the odds?
220. Anything else you like? Any totals?
What's that give you? Plus money?
It was basically even money.
Nice. I like that. And then if I'm also taking it, I click into that Florida Auburn game. Go to the total. What do we got here for the total? 160 is kind of high for this, but Auburn shoots that shit, which I'm a little nervous about. Go up. We're gonna take a player prop here. Keep going. Go over to player props. Go down. Do they have my boy on here? Keep going. Oh my God, they don't have him.
You looking for?
The point guard from Florida. They don't have him. Clayton Jr. I think he goes off. The other thing I would take though is yeah, they don't have him. That sucks. Okay, go over to the Duke game. Because I would take Clayton Jr. Walter Clayton Jr.
What a name.
Yeah, beautiful name. Go to the Duke Houston game.
All right.
I would take the Duke team total over. 136 is low because Houston plays really slow. Oh, they don't even give you it? That's annoying. Wow, that's so whack right now. So the line's just not up. I would be keeping an eye on it. Go to all, scroll down. Yeah, then I would just take the game over 136. I like the over on that. Because if Duke comes out firing, Houston's not going to be able to play slow. Which I think is the big thing. Go to player props. We're taking one more here. Cooper Flag, under 20 points. Under 19.5.
So we're going over on the total, but under on Flag.
I think the rest of the team's going to have to step up. Nop, whatever his name is, Nep, whatever his name is going to have to step up, and I think he will.
Con Newpel?
Yeah, Newpel. That's his name. Con. I like that dude a lot.
All right, we've been cooking on these. Hopefully, we continue to cook up a soul on Blockbet. You can sign up right now. Join our ongoing Bodogos tournament. It's not too late. 20K, almost up to 20K up for grabs. We've been sharing the leaderboards on our X account, bodogos.com/blockbet. Also, they just introduced a block 20% cash back campaign where you'll get 20% back on losses when you bet with the block token. So you can bet with any token you deposit on Blockbet. Right now, you can see my balance up top. I have Solana. I deposited Solana, but you can use any of these different tokens, including their native block token to bet. Any bets placed in the block token, if you lose, you're going to get 20% back on that net bet over the course of the week. So another reason to use the block token, buy the block token. They also announced buybacks. You get a piece of the casino. So that makes it interesting. If you are bullish on Blockbet, the block token is how you can get exposure. And if you're using the platform and you're betting on block, you get a percentage of your losses back. So another advantage to take care of for Blockbet. And also always want to remind people to look at the missions. I should have done this before I put these bets in, but checking the missions for different quests, opting into the quest for like sports betting, if you're doing sports bets or casino. If you opt into these missions, you can get some cash back as well. So check that out as well. Really psyched to be working with Blockbet. It's made the March Madness tournament a ton of fun for me. Easy to get in, easy to deposit crypto. Awesome product. We love working with them. That being said, we're midway through the show and we haven't done a weather report yet. So why don't we kick that off, Kicks, and then we'll kind of dive in and talk to
Nick. You missed a good TA set.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday, April 4th. Sorry about that, Easy. Majors are up slightly on the day with Bitcoin under 83K, Ethereum just under 1,800, and Solana at 115. Over the past 24 hours, the S&P dropped 4.9% in its worst day since June 2020. The bleeding continued this morning as China announced 34% retaliatory tariffs, sending the markets down an additional 3% in pre-market trading. Next up, we have some forward-looking data on rates as the Treasury yield on 2 to 10-year bonds dropped by 15 basis points. Traders now also see a 50% chance of a fourth Fed rate cut this year. Finally, some sell pressure may be coming to Solana as $200 million worth of Solana unlocks today. This is the largest single day release until 2028. That is it for the weather report. Back to you in the studio.
That ain't too bad. I mean, didn't we have some other unlocks already?
Yeah, this one's not this. It's like this big, largest single day, but we had back-to-back days that outpaced us already.
So hey, we've weathered the storm. I'm honestly feeling pretty bullish on Solana.
I still think we get an $80 entry on Sol.
I mean, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, anything sub 100, I feel like is a good buy.
Yeah.
Nick, remember when we sat there and did TA for like 40 minutes on Trump's previous situation and then now?
Yeah, and it's going exactly as planned.
Like to a T, looks like it's going to bottom in May after another 7% drawdown to be the exact amount that we got cycle one.
Yeah. Although this one seems a little more, I don't know what was going on at that point in terms of how the actual tariffs compare. This one feels a little more significant, but I don't know. I mean, have the turns tided, you know? And they said a lot of the articles I was reading yesterday of people that were writing about sports the day before said that the U.S. dollar is going to receive it or lose its reserve currency status as a result of all this. That's kind of like the
2022 is the same thing. Like the BRICS and all this other shit was like the main focus. They were basically denominating oil trade in other currencies, and none of that's like it's, in my opinion, like a fucking nothing burger. I think like looking at global equities in general and like commodities and what they were like the bottom reserve is, it's all going to be denominated in Bitcoin. Okay.
Hell
then
yeah.
it'll be a 5 global.
That's what I was thinking.
Bitcoin's looking pretty strong right now. One thing I was just going to say, shows your soul lines, Nick. I need a good laugh from Potty Poo. Dude, why are you watching the show, dude? Well, just fucking
I thought he was calling you Potty Poo, but no, his name. Gotcha.
Patty Poo.
I thought he was making fun of you a little bit.
Adipu.
He's Indian
It's not
or
Irish.
or
Like, patio poo.
Pakistani. Got it. The way that Ray said it made it sound like Indian or Pakistani, which is, I mean, kind of racist, Ray. I can't believe that you would even suggest that just because he says Patty Poo, that's where he's from. Where are you from, Patty Poo? Post it in the comments. Let us know. Reveal yourself. One other unrelated note before we dive in, I just wanted to share. I was walking down the street. Miami, I have a large audience. Let me just say that. Okay. Miami is a big fan of Choose Rich Nick. And some guy runs up to me behind me is Pio and I were walking down the street. Like, is that Choose Rich Nick? And the guy comes up and we're chatting. And I'm not gonna say what he does, but he runs a business in the space. And I was like, cool, we should meet up sometime. We're in the neighborhood. And he basically, I was like, what's your number? And he was like, oh, I'm Anon, bro. And I'm just like, dude, I can't deal with that. If you're Anon in person, what's going on? Like, am I just gonna start doxing people? Patty Poo's from Canada.
No, he says from India.
He said not from India.
No, he said not fro. His hair is not a fro.
Dude, you're missing out, man. He fucked up with a typo and he said not from India, worse, Canada.
I don't know about that. Dude, I think it's really funny that someone in person goes, I'm not doxxed. Like, that's just like, what world are we living in?
What are you talking about, dude?
Like, you're doxxed. I see you.
I'm like, I can't with this. Like, what are you talking about? It's not like I can't meet up with somebody like that. I just can't.
Did he give you like a fake name, like a pseudonym?
Yeah. Gave me the Anon name, basically. I met a guy yesterday who was from.
Your mic's cooked.
Yeah.
It's gone. We lost all cutting to your mic.
How does that even happen?
Patty.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So wow. So the thing I'm walking down the street to get lunch. A guy was like, Nick O'Neill? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, dude, so good to meet you. Blah, blah, blah. I love your stuff. I'm from New York too. Starts talking to me for 15 minutes, but he gives me his name, address, phone number, and everything. And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. If I want to send you a snail mail card, I can do it. If I want to send you a text message, that's possible as well. I told him to add me on Telegram though, because he wanted to like really step things up to another notch in terms of relationship right out the gate.
Did you guys kiss?
I wasn't down with that. No, we didn't. So that's the full ends of the spectrum, basically. There's like another area, which is like they just come up and they don't want to say anything. They just want to be like, Joe's rich, and then they run away. That's another group. But dude, any of these Anon people, I can't. There's no, it's just, what's going to happen? I'm going to hunt you down. I'm going to dox you. That's what I'm going to do. It's kind of like you can't build trust with that person.
We have the S&P opening. Easy. You want to take a look and see what we've got here? Big gap.
Yeah, I literally just opened it.
Just a big old gap.
Yeah, we have massive gaps on this fucking thing, dude.
Reminds me of
what, Nick?
What does it remind you of?
Wow, that is a huge gap, dude.
Dude, so there's two of them.
My shot put, absolute disaster, dude.
Oh, yeah, you got to be down like astronomical levels.
It's so bad.
Like, dude, look at these fucking gaps, dude.
You own Shopify at this point?
I own the entire company based on the put that I sold, dude. I mean, these are big old gaps.
You're there selling naked puts, dude? Or are your puts cash?
No, it was a cash secured put.
Dude, it was not good.
Yeah, Bottom's got to be close when these guys are doing put strategies, dude.
So two massive gaps. This is still the range I think we sell down to.
Well, is that what we priced in on the chart?
Yeah, 485 to 495 is like the rough area. It's about another 7% move.
So that's like a 20%. You said 20-something percent pullback, right?
21%, 21 to 22%.
Sounds pretty smart to me, dude.
From peak to bottom. And if we pan it out to June, which will be right here, 7% over this time is pretty good considering we got from February to April.
Basically, when we did the analysis, we should have just basically grabbed some puts on the rebound because the VIX went down. That would have been the opportune time to do it. That I was literally sitting there, and I think I texted you.
You did.
Literally, I think that we should get puts on this thing, and
we should have just gotten puts on the S&P, just straight boomer.
No, that's what I wanted to do. Yeah,
at the money, literally like current price puts, whatever the premium was. We'd be up like 300-400% on size.
Well, the out of the money ones are the ones you want because those go up substantially. I think my Fiverr ones are like actually those are printing, but I think those may offset my Shopify loss is where we may end up with.
The Fiverr thesis was right, but I think Fiverr's selling off because of the market, not because of the thesis.
It's not actually going down as bad as Shopify.
Well, Shopify's
e-commerce.
So Nick, I hate to say this, but I think the Miami rental market is about to be the best opportunity in the world because drop shippers make up like 85% of those fucking residents, and tariffs are going to royally fuck them, dude. So you're going to have so many liquidation sales. You want a Bugatti? You can get it probably like 85% off.
Warren Buffett. Oh, I like that. I like us buying Bugattis. Warren Buffett came out with a statement. He doesn't make predictions, but he was talking about at the his annual conference. He came out with a thing talking about monitoring the high-end Miami condo market for sort of signaling where things are going. And he said that the turnover time went from 3 months to 2.5 years. So
like to flip to sell it, like close a property.
No, to sell through the inventory.
Oh, gotcha.
And so the issue, there's also another driving factor of that he didn't incorporate, which is that building that collapsed in Miami caused all the condo fees to double immediately. And so no one wants to buy a condo right now because if you buy any condo, your minimum of taxes and condo fees is going to be like $2,500 a month. In ongoing fees.
That's insane, dude.
That you're gonna have to pay.
I would never get into a condo, dude. That's kind of like, you're like really tied to the hip with a lot of people. I just don't like that setup. An HOA, for like $500 a year, I can stomach that. Don't Feed Wolf said, effing Buffett sitting on $300 billion in treasury bills ahead of all this. Old man still got it. Yeah, I was about to say Warren Buffett, he's ecstatic. He's ecstatic that everything's just collapsing. He's like, this is phenomenal for me. I'm sitting on $300 billion
cash, like literally like a month ago. Like he was like,
he's ready.
He's been chilling. Also, Nick, I know you and me were talking watches. I think these drop shippers are going to be giving you some steals on some beautiful watches here.
Pio, on that note, one last comment. We went off the rails. Sorry, Ray, but no one cares about your plan. The thing I was going to say is the Pio added me to some like watch Telegram thing where this guy is like posting Rolexes and watch charts so you can go and look at like the actual market price of these Rolexes. This guy's selling his Rolexes. All of them are always 10K over whatever the market price is. And he's like, and they're gone and it's gone. And I'm just like, dude, what is going on here?
Well, because a lot of the people buy them in crypto.
It's money laundering.
So they pay a premium because they don't have to pay taxes on it. They get a physical asset, and then that asset can actually be sold for cash at some point. So they pay the premium, even at the current market price. If you want a watch guy, I got a guy. It's fair value. I cross-check everything. It's not some fucking Telegram where the guy's like, buy it quick, it's coming out, buy it quick, highest bidder, okay, there's 5 extra over the top, 10 extra over the top, okay.
Well, so can we just replicate this guy? Can we literally just take your guy, get the fair market value, and then dump it on the crypto criminals?
Yeah, probably.
I like that.
All I know is that the market top is when I started getting DMs about watches. People are like, hey, see, you're in crypto. Lots
Yeah.
of people getting watches right now. What are you doing
You're
with that
down the
Trump money?
totem pole. When they
What?
started hitting you up. Like my wife occasionally buys me like $100 watch like for Christmas every couple of years, and it just like ends up somewhere in my room. I just not a watch guy yet. So if people were hitting me up, that would be a pretty big bottom signal as well. Interesting play here. Pokemon cards going to be exempt from tariffs because they're manufactured in the United States.
Do you know how many Pokemon cards I own, brother? We're sitting on a cash cow. We're sitting
Dude,
on a
I'm
cash
telling
cow.
you that's tariff free right there, dude. I think people may swarm into that shit. A lot of
Cash
people
cow.
say Pokemon Japan must be made in
I'll do
Japan.
money spreads. I do slab spreads.
Look at that, dude. That's better than a watch right there.
I'm saying.
I can't believe. So, what do we think about Bitcoin being so strong here relative to everything else, man?
So my target on Bitcoin was 69 to 72K. I don't think Bitcoin touches that anymore. I think we'll get the Sol and ETH entries. Sol sub 100, ETH 14 to 1600. But I think Bitcoin ends up probably bottoming closer to like 75, 76.
I'm gonna go out on wax and say this. It's gonna sound fucking crazy. ETH is gonna be the first to rally off the lows.
And everyone's going to reject it, saying that ETH in general is a bad
is.
buy, yada, yada, this, that, and the third.
It's gonna
So
be
I
like
shouldn't
ETH from
sell my ETH?
1600. It's gonna be like ETH 1600 to 3200.
I need it because my CryptoPunk is still down so much fucking money. So much money.
In ETH or both?
ETH. I'm up an ETH and a half. And I'm down $65,000.
Well, that's rough. Well, I'm
HTK
actually
Ticker
technically
says-
down. My whole CryptoPunk trade has been fully retraced.
That's good. You got to feel good about that. HTK,
No, I don't.
Oh, you bought another one?
No, what I'm saying is I bought it. I made 30 grand, held it in ETH, and all that value has gone back down. So I ended up, I could have just held the freaking punk. Like it didn't make a difference.
So now just buy another punk with the ETH at a cheaper USD entry value. Lock in the losses on the ETH.
The punks are not that cheap. I guess there is one that's close to it, but
you like the mid rares though. Like mine's a floor.
Yeah, never buy a mid rare.
I always punks have liquidity in the mid rare area.
True. I take that back.
Hold on. All three of you were talking at the same time. What is happening?
I got it. I understood it. Speaking of riskier assets, I want to kind of jump over to the Memecoin side. We're seeing a lot of movement here out of Buttcoin and Titcoin, which we both talked about, both up 62% on the day, despite a broader market pullback. Titcoin at 31 mil, Buttcoin at 7.3 mil. Has anybody added the body part coins to their crypto portfolios?
No,
I'm holding in size through the half a Solana we bought with Team Trades. So like I probably own 0.1 Titcoin. But yeah, it's looking good. That chart looked good.
Damn,
that looks like the next fart coin.
What did I say? What did I say on the show?
I don't know.
I said breasts are better than what was the other one? Breasts are. Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like at a 4-to-1 ratio, I feel like Buttcoin here is like.
But you're buying a derivative.
Right? I don't know if it's a derivative though. That's like saying Fartcoin's a derivative of GOAT. I mean, obviously they're like similar.
I would short the VIX here, Nick.
It stops being.
Oh, he's shorting the VIX. Aggressive
move. I would short the VIX here. I would short the VIX here.
Aggressive move.
I like the short on the VIX here. I'm looking at this.
How do you trade that?
You buy VIX puts.
I think what's dangerous is what if Trump comes out and he says, "Okay, we're taking up China tariffs another 34%."
Already dropped a comment. 100% tariffs on China.
No way, did he?
Yeah, already said it this morning.
Does he think 100% is the highest you can go?
Yeah. No, you can go higher, I think. But
I know, but I'm wondering if he thinks that.
Maybe.
He's like, that's maxed out.
Yeah. I don't think he really understands like you can like 200%. It's just like, like I don't think that like computes. He's like 100%, the highest number you can possibly tariff. I don't know though. I think that the absolute worst of the tariff situation is now on the table. His speculation was China would not retaliate. We got the retaliation. Now he's saying max the tariff. Yeah.
Can't say this guy's not entertaining.
Yeah, they panicked. The one thing they cannot afford to do.
What does that even mean?
He's gonna just max whatever the fuck he can do on it. I want to short the VIX. Maybe not today, but I think volatility is topping here in the short term.
Hey, Nick, can you install the Instalink app on your computer so it doesn't follow you around?
Is that bothering you, Ray?
That's a little bit.
I turned off auto framing. There you go.
Thank you. Where are you shorting the VIX at? Easy.
Dude, you can just Robinhood that bitch.
You got on Robinhood?
Yeah, you can Superman that hoe.
Use Weeble. I'm a little bit weirder.
Dude, I'm afraid to look at my Schwab account right now.
No, don't.
What do you got on Schwab? Just like 401k?
I have my checking account. Then I have a brokerage account. The checking account's fine, except I just paid my taxes, so it's not. It's down $50,000.
We're getting an interesting candle here.
I'm down $80,000 actually
What'd
for
you say,
taxes
Ray?
this year.
Interesting candle here on the majors.
What's the price? $17.89.
Well, if you paid 80,000 in taxes, you made a lot in gains.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't have more like losses from 2022 that you could carry forward.
But isn't there a max on those?
No, there's a max if you claim it without like offsetting. Like it's a max 3,000 if you're just like claiming it. But like if you lost 300K in capital gains in 2022, if you made 300K in 2024, it just offsets. You don't pay taxes on the. You don't pay federal taxes. It varies state to state. But
I've made money every year. Kicks. I've made money every year.
That's impressive, dude. That's good.
No state taxes in Florida, so it's only the Fed.
Hold up. My brokerage is up today. Up 4K.
You must own a lot of
puts, baby.
Fiverr, I'm up 100%.
It's the Fiverr puts.
I was trashing you for that too. That worked out great, dude.
It was a great trade.
It was good.
Should I sell these puts?
I think you should double down.
No,
yeah, selling put. Yeah, I would probably sell them.
Sell
them. That was a good little flip there, huh?
I would sell puts. My thesis here is just like I think maybe we get a short-term rally. These gaps are massive. The job data came in really fucking strong. So the major concern though is no quantitative easing and no rate cuts because you got non-farm payrolls coming in at 220 over 150. And unemployment's 4.2 over 141.
People are upset that Clemente hasn't been acknowledged. I just following his Twitter post I just saw here about the Miami rental market. But say right after Clemente paid 2x the average rental price, he really is the top signal.
I think Clemente has
more than Clemente.
Clemente's selling drugs or something. Dude, like $3,500 a month for a fucking apartment.
What's going on with the ceiling there, Clemente? He's just not even.
He lied about the amount that he's paying. I'm doxing him.
There's no way he paid $3,500 a month, dude.
He's got the tab muted. He's not paying attention.
I think he like Chilean, like his parents like did like they're like the Kennedys of Chile. Like they, rum, like alcohol running, prohibition shit, something. There's some
lineage. You know he's on the show.
What if you just started beating off?
Come on, Clemente.
No, he moved his mic in. He knows. He's trying to play it cool, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got it. There
he's looking around like he has multiple monitors, and then he doesn't just have one big ass one in front
staring
of
him. Staring at the
Clemente, you have a fucking cabinet open behind you, dude. Like, what the hell are you even doing?
That's part of it. He's baiting you.
Have you guys not heard what I've been doing for the last? I've been trying to do it for the last. I guess the audio is not coming through. I'm gonna have to share my tab.
All right,
1 second.
请不要对我征收中国关税。中国真实的智利人热爱中文。
I pressed play on it like 6 times.
Now you have to say it. Now you have
Ying
to try to
Chao
say it.
Wing, Du Wa Xing Zhou Jun Zun Guo, Guang Shi Wo Shi Yi Ye Yang Qi Qi Zi Zi Ran Ze Wang Yan.
That was actually really good.
That sounded pretty good.
That
Yeah.
sounded pretty good.
Did you make that up,
Really
or is there like enunciation on the or what is it called? Phonetics there.
No, I think I have Chinese heritage.
Nice. Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm team China, I think, at this point. Love the Chinese. Love the Chinese. We've had a troubled past. I've historically haven't gone along with the Chinese, but I mean, look, I got the anime shirt on. Boom. Pro Asia.
Do you think they're just going to come and tariff you individually? Like, what's why are you so scared right now in Miami?
I think I got scared after the easy tweet. Sorry, my hard-boiled eggs alarm just went off.
Dude, I'm down $1,650 on my Shopify put.
Because it's going up? Or you sold it? You sold a put.
I sold.
I'm just really like, I'm kind of wondering your headspace there because you're like, cool, like e-commerce company, a lot of international trade.
This was before the tariffs happened. I was like,
Okay.
yeah, let me sell a put.
It's because of AI. That's why you did the Fiverr.
Because Shopify has AI.
Wasn't it Fiverr he's talking about?
No, he sold
got
the
two trades.
Shopify put.
All right.
How do I close this position?
It's down 8% today.
Dude, somehow he's gonna get assigned 1,000 shares for a single put because they're just like, yeah, dude, you're so underwater that like we don't even know what to do. We can't close this.
You're going to have to come to our board of directors. You're now on it.
Probably gonna buy Shopify here off of it. Can I just buy the shares off your put? How's that work? I'll take your shares.
PC deal.
I mean,
Oh wait, no, because then I'd have to buy it 10% higher. I'll just go buy it myself.
I have to spend $2,400 to buy. Oh my god.
Maybe what's in expiry? Maybe just hold it.
What's that?
When's it expire? Maybe just hold it.
In a month?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe you get a nice little rip up rally.
Yeah, totally.
We've been talking about the macro. Easy. I want to throw to you. What have you been doing like in meme coins? I know you've been active in DeFi dungeons. Like, what are you trading right now outside of majors? And what are you looking at in the markets? I also seen like you can pick it. You can go DeFi dungeons, meme coins, Kaido, Wayfinder. Like just
Yesterday was the first day since March 9th that I did not make a singular meme coin trade. First day. That was probably a bad move. Looking at the meme coin charts, I'm like, damn. Okay.
Yeah, there's some runners yesterday.
Right.
Yeah,
I can
well-
take it from here if we're talking meme coins. This guy's
I want
wild.
Go ahead.
to share my screen really quick. I shared today that action figure meme coin on my timeline. Festige has been my DMs like shilling it since like the other day. I like made a post like just kind of like using the prompt, and he's like shilling it to me. He's like, hey, I think these things are big. And then like I look at it this morning, and it's like up like 20x from like at that point. I was like, oh my god! I made the post. I used the action figure meta, and I still somehow missed the.
Right, pull up ticker figure, why don't you? And turn on your share tracked wallets indicator, why don't you?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, here's my action figure.
All I'll say is
You have no faith in me? You think that I would be shilling my bags without disclosing?
no, I'm saying because it would show that I was in that trade like white on frickin' rice, baby.
Thanks for the DM.
You have my wallet, Ray?
Yeah, he bought it at 2 mil and sold it this morning.
No, I bought it at 1. Bought that at 1.
I don't even have BullX up most days anymore.
Let's go, man. No, I think there is trades to be made still.
So Clemente, I have it here. You bought it on the 1 hour chart. I have it live here. Oh, okay. We can zoom in on this. Okay, so you bought it at 1.5.
Nice. 3x.
1.5. You sold it for 3.7.
So I actually sold it just to track it. I bought one sold just so I could track the price action. And then I saw it this morning. I was like, oh, okay, it's up. Sold it.
Great trade. What is this carrot coin that you bought?
Okay, we're not talking about
Is that a
let's go-
12K
let's go
market
to
cap?
Clemente's
We're
wallet.
not doing that. We are.
So is that a
Whoa,
12K market cap?
whoa! Just doxing my. That's crazy, dude. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a fake P&L.
So you're on Carrot Coin at a 12K market cap. Why? They ask why. It's called King Charles Carrot. I'm very.
He bought it after the dump. He's bullish post dump.
Do not buy this. I own 1% of the supply.
So do
No,
you
because it just
believe
looks.
that,
Just look at King
Clemente
Charles'
showing-
big ass.
Showing a 13K market cap that he owns 1% of the supply on live air right now. is
I'm
what's
not
happening.
shilling it. I'm not shilling the picture. It's just King Charles playing a carrot flute. I was like, maybe this will do well. Look at his big ass sausage fingers too. Don't buy this. Do not buy this.
All right, deploying.
Oh, okay. We're not doing this.
Speaking of coins that were shilling, I'm in Buckazoid still. Somehow this didn't go to 0. I thought this went to
Nice.
0 at one point. Apparently it
Bucks
didn't.
to a buck, huh?
Yeah, I bought it. I bought it here like the other day live on the show. And it promptly went to like essentially 0.
Clemente, next time you get a figure kind of trade, can you post it in Wells chat?
Yeah, I'll post like the social media stuff. I actually think I have a good tell on. I'm pissed I didn't get on figure earlier. But I think there's a lot of trades to be made with. Well, not a lot of trades to be made. There's opportunities if you're patient. Like the Penguin tariff ticker was the one this week that did well. We had Ghibli last week. Before that, we had Morning Routine. Then before that, we had Please. Right. So there seems to be like a weekly internet like viral internet meme that you can get a hold of, and if you like know what you're looking for, I think you can get.
Dude, there's even smaller ones that you can find from like 30, 40, 50K that get 100 million views and run to like a mil. Like,
yeah,
Like
you
the
saw
King
that
Charles Carrot.
nag by that woman who was just bitching about her husband, and that ended up running. I was like, damn, okay. But
Yeah.
now it's like you got to find your spots. Like you and me talked about this pretty heavily, and I was like, I was buying a bunch of dumb shit, and I just really slowed down. I'm like, oh, if I see it on social media blowing up, maybe it's worth it. Like we're seeing Anthony Edwards right now getting a lot of traction for paying 18 years of child support day one. Haven't seen a meme coin about it yet.
That's tough.
yeah. But the thing is, there is like, what's the meme? It would need to be like a funny meme.
Is it like
And-
absent
He
father?
prepaid it.
Prepaid it in full. Talk about getting
That's
ahead of
kinda,
inflation.
that's kind of
dude.
badass. Get the liability off the table.
It is kind of rude, his comments, though. He said, I don't want any part of that child's life.
I mean,
That's not
it's
great.
probably the mom's probably a real piece of shit.
He's got 4 kids in 1 year.
Continuing to like.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to take some responsibility for that for sure. I'll tell you what, though, the SPX on the weekly, this puke is like COVID level on the weekly.
I mean,
It's
dude, crypto's pushing hard right now.
I was about to say, it's kind of like you kind of want to like long the S&P here with a little call options.
Might get a little bit of a relief bounce. Might get it. Powell's speaking today, too, on the current economic state of the market.
Hey, Nick.
He's
Oh,
gone.
he fucking left.
Fucking piece of shit.
Fucking hate that guy.
You think that Powell will potentially start flipping dovish?
Powell doesn't like
Yes.
Trump, though. That's a problem.
Yeah, I think he wants to watch Trump implode.
Yeah. That's a little bit of the problem. I need to wire transfer some money. I need to buy some things.
Take a look at the rate cuts. I mean, I think the rate cuts are going to be a big catalyst to recovery. And I think easy saying a bottom in May is interesting. Looking at like the overall graph here, you see the odds of 2 rate cuts just like astronomically dropped, basically dropped from 24 to 12%, down 50%. It would have to go up 100% or the max in Trump's mind of percentages to get back to where it was. 3 or more cuts now is looking at pretty nice. It's 62% chance for 3 and more, and we're looking over 50% chance for 4 or more. With the markets on Polymarket at least moving a bit over the last week with the tariffs. So rate cuts could be interesting. I know that June was kind of like when we were looking at the first potential cut before. May was like 50-50. So now we're looking at 50 or 62% chance we get a cut in June. I feel like a cut in May would be wild. And that would be something that could potentially move markets because that's not priced in and unexpected right now. No rate cut, priced in at 69% for May. But that is something I'd be watching when you're listening to Powell today. If he says some things that might lead to a cut, if he sounds more dovish and it sounds like, okay, these tariffs are going to cause inflation to rise, et cetera, we may be accelerating or cutting, like this could change and that would flip markets to an extent, in my opinion. Do you think the rate decision easy is going to have a big impact on like when we find the bottom, or do you think it's more just like letting the market play out and find its lows?
You just gotta let it play out, in my opinion. Like right now, there's no massive rush at any side. Dude, when the market sells off like this, it's actually like good long term. Like you should have retraces, you should have sell-offs, you should have negative moves.
No, it should go up only. If it doesn't go up only, it's terrible.
I saw a funny post. Someone today was like, "Oh my god, my 401k is down. I can't believe this. I'm not legally allowed to withdraw from it for 20 plus years, but holy shit, it's down today." I was like, "Yeah, no, that's basically the sentiment." Like,
I mean, if
it
doesn't look like this, I don't want to be in it.
Amen, brother, dude. Someone called me a shiller on the timeline. He said, "Didn't see you as a shiller of a third tier derivative of fart coin, but times are tough, so I guess I'll let this one go." It's like, bro, can like we not have fun with the fun police and meme coins? Got some fun police. Hey, you're not allowed to like that coin.
Yeah.
You can't like that because it's the third tier of the tier.
I think we've gotten to a point where people are just like, there's been so many scammers in this space and so many bad actors that like people who are just having fun on the timeline, everyone just like their first go-to is like, this guy's an exit scammer who's using his followers for exit liquidity, pumping a token and selling it. And that's just the default mind frame that everyone has, which is
I'm
like
dumping
so
my
frustrating.
0.1 Solana on Titcoin on my audience, dude. I'm just gonna fucking wreck them.
What do you think would happen if I shilled Carrot Coin 8K market cap?
You should tag this guy with it and be like, "Hey, dude, you can get in early on this."
Oh my god,
dude. You bought it at 12K.
I'm down on it. I'm just gonna hold it forever. The thing with these like viral coins, and I'm not saying there's a viral coin, you have to hold it. Some of them take like hours to play out, and you just gotta kind of let it marinate.
So what you're saying carrots a slow cooker, and then people should be jumping in at 6K market cap.
You're gonna be wanting to get is 6K now. Yeah, this can go wrong. I put 3 soul into this Kanye West new album where it's clearly racist, and I lost 3 soul on it. It's at 3K right now.
You deserve that
low. Because I thought it would go viral.
Am I buying some carrot here?
No, do not buy it. Okay, let's take carrot off the thing. The one that I want to buy is okay. No, we're not. Okay, it's a Friday. We can, we're ending.
Let's have some fun. I'm gonna throw some filters on here.
The thing I was looking at, Raymond, was this. I'm interested in buying. I think I'm buying it too soon, but I want to buy this Superman dog at some point.
Superman. Oh,
so Superman the movie comes out in July, and his dog's name is Crypto. So
wow,
they made a meme
Easier
coin off
muted.
this.
That's cool.
it's short for kryptonite.
Yeah, they made a meme coin of it back in when the trailer first came out in December.
It ran hard as shit.
It ran to 6 mil. Now it's at 293. So I'm thinking at 293K. I'm thinking at some point this has to be a good buy. At
Probably
some
right now.
point. But the movie doesn't come out until
July,
right? So you're gonna be
maybe
saying
you get like a really dope trailer.
Is the new coin going to outpace it? Like whatever drops when the movie comes out, is that going to
you just get vamped?
I don't think so.
I'm looking at the S&P on the weekly, and I'm like, hot damn, dude, this looks kind of attractive here to buy. Like sometime in the next week or two. Easy. Do you think I would wait over the weekend?
Yes.
And try to get like a Monday gap down?
Yeah, or even if it does pump, I think buying a gap up is not a bad move. Because it's like, dude, there's just trading the weekend is so fucking risky because of like we've already seen Trump really enjoys dropping news and chaos.
Yeah, that's
when
what I was
traditional
thinking.
equities are closed.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. I appreciate your advice.
If you think the S&P is going to run, honestly, dude, you could probably just go and buy Bitcoin or ETH because, like, look at those charts. They're outpacing. When S&P just had like a 10-minute green candle, it ran so much fucking harder.
This is interesting. This is a Moonshot launch. It's 0.
Ray, it's at 7K.
It's-
Ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that one, Ray.
I was saying it's about to graduate.
Little slip up from Raymond there, shilling a 2K market cap.
Sorry,
The
and I just-
migrations were
my eye.
instant.
It caught my eye because it's on Moonshot.
Ah,
I was wondering if like has
Oh,
it
it
been
is.
something that's normal, or have we seen that lately? Like, why would you launch on Moonshot? I can't wait till this coin actually is something, but it's not. Have you been scanning, Clemente? Like, what is your go-to play? Like, do you just have BullX open, or are you looking at memes like on the timeline and then you're like popping to BullX to figure out if you can find something that is interesting? I think you're
Can you guys hear me?
now we can.
Sadly.
Sorry, I accidentally opened up a Guinness Book of World Records article about this rat, and it just destroyed. Dude, when you open up like new browsers now or like any news article, it just destroys your computer. Ray, to answer your question, I usually look at I check BullX's graduated filter, like the graduated tab. I probably check it 6 times a day and see if there's anything interesting there. Usually, it does a good job of like filtering anything noteworthy. And then from there, I'll kind of look at what the links to the socials are and if it's anything interesting. If it's something that has virality potential, where people can kind of talk about it and I see people talking about it more, I'll start buying. The action figure, or the other one is I'm slowly starting to train my brain for when I see like a viral, like a trend starting to build on Twitter, that I will look for the meme coin. But sometimes the meme coin is not necessarily like the name of what's going on. So anyways, I look for stuff that's trending on Twitter, and then I try to find meme coins correlated to it. Yeah, that's been my main thing. Like with the tariffs yesterday, there wasn't really anything viral that came from it other than the penguins, and then the penguins was the trade to make. So it's like finding what's going on and then finding what's funny, what's the meme about it. So yeah,
Interesting. Yeah, so I'm like seeing derivatives of figure already, and like this Lego one, but that's probably not something you would touch.
figure I faded initially because it was like just another, basically this was just willed to existence by the crypto community, and they got people tweeting about it. They got like influencers and brands tweeting about their starter pack, their figure pack, which is cool. In general, I'm very bullish on Twitter. In general, Twitter is going to continue leading in
it's X.
Is going to keep taking mindshare from Instagram and TikTok. This is a high level social media conversation, but I think Instagram and TikTok are kind of cooked right now because they've become almost exclusively video content. So all of the organic spreading of memes and like static memes has gone away. And if you look at the last 3 or 4 viral trends that have come out in internet the last month and a half, it's all been out of Twitter. So it's a really interesting thing to be focused on right now with Twitter as a whole. It's going to continue leading the meme conversation, and like culture is going to start happening on X more and more. And the
That's
meme
deep,
coinization. Dude. Sorry, Kicks.
That's deep. I like it.
And the meme coinization of it is leading that. Like it's making these things go more and more viral, partially because, yeah. So it's pretty cool. I think that because these things are happening natively on Twitter, you're able to capture some of these trends early on via meme coins, because no one cares about an internet trend happening on TikTok. No one cares about that unless it's like chill guy level. They care about it happening on Twitter because that's what they see on their timeline. And the buyers of crypto, of these speculative coins, are on X. They're not on TikTok. So they're buying these things. It's a quicker path to purchase. So yeah, there's a lot of money to be made look for once a week we're getting a runner that goes to over 10 million, and just be patient and try to find the right one.
Fuck yeah. All right, I got to start moving some money, dude, because I don't know. I got to be ready for this. We got S&P down 3.59% today. Damn. I'm kind of feeling like I'm gonna have to start taking some stabs over the next week or two, dude. So I gotta do some money movements.
I'm just gonna start tweeting every day, bottoms in, and eventually one of them will be right. Like, we're getting closer where like it's not gonna be like 100 posts, it'll probably be like 30, and eventually one of them will be right.
I fucking love it.
Ray has just been muted for the last 2 minutes.
That's going to do it for today's show. We're going to let Kix move some money and get his brokerage account set up. We want to give one more big shout out to our partner for today's episode, Blockbet. Head to botaggos.com/Blockbet to sign up for our tournament. Up to 20K in rewards. We've been killing it in the Discord. Not too late to join. Not too late to climb the leaderboards there. They also just announced a 20% cash back on losses. So if I lose some of these bets today, well, actually, no, because I put them in Solana. But if you bet in Block, you're going to get 20% back on your losses. So if you buy their Block token, you bet on their platform with the Block token, you'll get 20% back of any losses on the platform. Another good utility for the Block token, in addition to owning a piece of the casino. Thank you all for listening to us. You can catch us on all major podcasting platforms. Catch us on Spotify, Apple. Watch us back on YouTube. See what we're talking about in real time. Hope you really enjoyed it. Thank you for joining us this week. We'll catch you on Monday.
Hey, yo, see you guys. Have a
Later.
good week.